Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sam's Corner. And today we're going to talk about the resume, the dreaded resume. No one likes doing their resume. And you look at it 100 times, it gets on your nerves, it can drive you crazy. You can go search for templates and you still just go, oh my God, this is a process. And it is. But I'm here to help. Remember, I'm always here to help. Now, am I going to do your resume for you? Nope. You can do it, or you can hire somebody to help you. And that's one of the first tips. And even though it's off to the side, it's a little bit different. Sometimes we aren't always that best in writing down or structuring words or how things should be done. That's why, referring back to the last video I did about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, sometimes writing is not your strength. That's okay. Find somebody else who can do it. Find somebody who can take your words and put it in such a way that it gives you the dynamic resume that you're looking for. Okay? Because sometimes it's okay to say, that's not my strong point. But the great thing is you can find somebody else who can help you. Or you can search online. You can be like, oh, wow, that's written exactly how I need my words or my resume to be written. This will help me. So whichever path you choose is fine. But I want to give you tips for creating a dynamic resume. And I won't go into a lot of stuff because most of you at this point already kind of know. But I want to piggyback a little bit on my last video. And my last video talked about believing in yourself, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and knowing your capabilities. And the reason that's important is because now you have to translate that into written word. And that is not always easy. If you have a friend who is an author or you listen to authors talk, sometimes taking thoughts, feelings, and emotions and using written word to embody those is not always easy. It's a difficult task. So don't feel frustrated if you don't know what to say right away. Your resume will always be a living document. And as you grow professionally, as you change professionally, as you have mentors and you meet new people and you get positive criticism, your resume is going to change. People like, what style, what format should I use? If your industry has a specific format, then that's the format you need to use. If not, you may do a Google search and look for resumes and see what format works best. And then if that's the format you choose, or if not, I say this day and age, if you want to, create your own format. Create your resume, let it look the way that you want to. Just make sure that the information that you need is present, that it's clear and concise. Because my thing is, it's 2020. Why are we doing the same thing the same way? Why can't we do things differently? And I've seen people do things from print resumes on different kinds of paper, adding perfume. People have do videos. People have done different things. You can do whatever you want. Figure out what works best for you and then do it, because creativity is important and employers get a lot of resumes. Some they go, why did this person interview? And some they go, wow, I like this person, but I think they're overqualified. There's a lot of things that happen. Interviewers, they get a lot of resumes, but you always want to make sure that yours stands out. So I encourage you to be creative as you want to. Create your own path if you want to, or follow a template, whatever works best for you. Because at the end of the day, you need to be comfortable with your resume. And as long as it has the important information, you'll be fine. So with that, we're going to go over a few little tips. Number one, take out the I statements. Don't do that. Don't say I did this, I did that, I, because it becomes repetitive, it becomes redundant, and I'm gonna tell you, this interviewer's gonna roll their eyes, and then they're not gonna pay attention. And you don't want that. You don't want an interviewer to go and look at your Nope. You don't want that. You want to keep them sucked in. You want to keep them engaged. And that's the whole point. You want your resume to stand out. So don't use I statements. Say created, say developed, say process, depending on what type of work it is that you do. Make sure that it says those things. Number 2, which is very, very important. A lot of times with resumes, what we'll do is we will cut and paste our job description to our resume and say, bam, we're done. And I'm here to tell you, no, you're not. You've just secured yourself possibly from getting your resume pushed aside. And people are like, but why? If this is calling for it and then this is what I do, then people are going to look. And to a certain degree, you're right. But let me tell you where you've messed up. You did not put your resume in a format that allows people to see your capabilities. Your job duties and your capabilities are two completely different things. They are not the same. Because let's say, for example, it's accounting position and they're looking for a staff accountant. And all of the 5 candidates had basically did the same exact thing. Let's say even the job description, each employer found one online. They tweaked it a little bit, but it basically said the same thing. And I'm the employer. I got 5 resumes in front of me. I'm looking at them. They all say the same thing. But let's say resume number 4 listed their accomplishments. Let's say they cleaned up the GL. Let's say they were able to go in and create a process that eliminated redundancies and efficiencies. Let's say I see that they met with staff and they were able to identify areas of improvement in community. Well, I'm going to resume number 4 because resume number 4 stands out to me. Why? Because their resume is an accomplishment resume, I want to call it, or even an action resume. For me, I'm looking, I don't want to see a list of job duties. Some employers, they do, don't get me wrong, but if you're looking for someone who's dynamic, but furthermore, if you want to show that you're dynamic, you need to be able to show the things that you've accomplished. Listing your resume in a style that shows things that you've accomplished, like even if you helped during an audit and you helped save the company $500,000, that definitely needs to be on your resume. Why? Because it helps your resume to stand out. That's very, very important. You want to make sure that you stand out, but also you're also want to present yourself in a great light. So you start off strong with your capabilities. Being able to just do a job is one thing, but being able to show that not only can you perform said job duties, but you're a critical thinker, that you're dynamic, and it shows that you can work well with others, it's going to push you to the front. And that's what you want to do. Number 3, I've done it. We've all done it. Because when you're writing your resume, you make mistakes, or sometimes they're grammatical errors, and sometimes you don't see them right away. It's always good to have another set of eyes or use some other software, maybe like Grammarly, Word can help. Or if you have a friend who just loves words and stuff like that, have them review your resume. You don't want to send out a resume with a bunch of grammatical errors and spelling errors. Why? Because it doesn't show that you review your work, and it does look like you don't care. Now, do we all make mistakes? Yes, we do. Can we transpose numbers? Can we transpose words? Can we, sometimes we rely too much on Microsoft Word's grammar check, and the word that it thought I wanted was not the word that I wanted to use, and so then it makes my resume look wrong. So that's why I always suggest take your time doing your resume, walk away from it. For once you finish it, 2 or 3 days or whatever time span works best for you to come back with fresh eyes and then look at it. But I always suggest having someone you trust look at it, because you know what? It just helps. And We want to do everything by ourselves, but we're people. We still need help. And being able to ask for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And learning how to ask for help for the right person is a skill set and a beautiful one. Think about the people in your life who you trust, who possess the skills necessary to look at it from a different angle. Okay? Number 4, with your resume, whatever. I don't need that right away, but I will at some point. But number 4, you want to list special projects, not all of them, but anything that would pertain to the jobs that you're applying for, because sometimes these special projects and tasks that we work on may show other capabilities that the job duties or what we didn't do. So make sure you list those things as well, because I've done it too. I've done my resume. I'll tell you, before I would cut and paste whatever the job description was. I'm like, I did it. And then as I learned and as I grew professionally, I understood it's not really showing me. These are tasks that I performed. But when I really went back and looked at my resume and looked at what I do, I was like, this job description does not fully show my capabilities. And when I changed my resume and started to show my accomplishments and started to show the things that I would lead with, I noticed that I got more callbacks. I noticed I got more people who were who were interested in my resume. And because of that, I noticed that there was a difference because I was showing my accomplishments. And that's why, again, that's very important. And so even with listing special projects, you may show other skill sets that you have that are outside of your job description. And that's important. Number 5, with your objective. We always say, I want to gain skill sets so I can grow and I want to be a benefit to the employer. You know, there's the standard one. I'm not going to say don't use it if it doesn't work, but try to be as specific as you possibly can. Think about what your goals are. Always try to, the best of your abilities, align them with the organizations that you're applying for, but also be clear about your objectives. And it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of finesse. And let's say, for example, if you're looking for a job right away, or you feel like, oh God, this employer is going to go out of business, or I think they're going to lay people off, or you know what, I don't think I'm going to last much longer. If you don't feel like you have a lot of time, keeping it standard works too. But if you have the time, then definitely try to be more specific about your objective. What is it that you want to be? Are you do you have a certain career path? What is it that you want to accomplish? Employers want to see and want to know what those accomplishments are, whatever it is that you desire. So be as specific as you can, and that can take time. That may not be when you're writing when you're writing your resume. That may not be the easiest question to answer, and it's not. But what I want you to understand is being clear helps you to be more focused. The more focused you are, the more driven you are. The more when people ask you questions, you can give them a clear and concise answer. And when you're able to do that, trust me, people look at you differently. Because if you're fumbling, mumbling, I don't know, people are going to look at you like, yeah. But if you're able to say, within the next 5 years, I want to be able to such and such because these are my career goals, this is what I went to school for, this is what I'm passionate about. When you're able to speak with power and authority, people listen to you. Number 6, list softwares, especially depending on what field you're in. You may not need it for everything, but it just depends. If you're in a specialized field and you have to work with certain softwares or deal with certain programs, or there's certain certificates or anything like that, you want to make sure that you list those. Depending on your career path or where you are, or even if you're on one path and you decide you want to switch, especially if you're going into, like, let's say maybe IT, and maybe you're getting certificates, or maybe you've gone back to school and got an extra training, whatever it may be, you want to show that at least you have skill sets, or education rather, even if it's not the job you're performing now. People are going to want to look at that. And I kind of left in there, but list awards, accomplishments, any type of recognition. All of those things are important in showcasing who you are. Your resume is a physical manifestation, or physical representation rather, of your skills and your capabilities. And you want to make sure that your resume has everything that shows the complete professional version of yourself. So your resume must embody it. But before that, of course, you must believe in it, you must understand it, and you must be clear about who you are. So I'm going to end the video right there. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. And if this video has been helpful to you, please share it with a friend. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.